building, and we were already going to a community hall on the highway. And the group of people, they loved it there. We went there, well, both Sunday morning, Sunday night. When we bought this, the people still wanted to go back to the community hall for Sunday night. Because we have wonderful, powerful meetings in that old hall. We had an old wood stove in there. And Leonard used to go every meeting night early enough to get that fire going.
Where was that?
On this community, right on the highway.
Okay.
And what they used to call Morale Center.
Okay.
And anyway, yeah, we had powerful meetings there. The blessing of God, I wish we could see it again.
Yeah.
And people falling in the power. Remember one lad came there and he'd never been in a Pentecostal church before, a meeting like. And Leonard was standing at the pulpit leading, and I was playing, and all of a sudden Leonard just went down his back under the power like that and laid there. And this man, he thought, oh my goodness, why doesn't somebody do something? This man has fell, you know.
Yeah.
And his wife is going ahead. I went ahead playing, you know, and not concerned a bit. Because he realized he learned after it was the power of God.
Yeah.
We weren't scared. Worried about him. But, oh yeah, we had wonderful meetings there. But then we came here then for Sunday morning. Started here.
So that was about 1970?
That was, well, around that we, when we first came over, we went to that hall pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a big, big hall.
But you bought this in around 1970? Hmm? You bought this in about 1970?
Well, it must have been around 1970.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been. But, yeah, that's where we really, like at the hall, I remember, like Sunday morning sometimes different than a Sunday night evangelistic.
Yeah.
And we had, when we first went there, am I going too long on
this?
No,
no.
When we first went, we were praying, of course, you know, for revival. We had a few people start coming, and so we went up to that. Dwight was just a tiny baby, and Leonard and I went up there every day for a month to pray, especially that God would give us a revival, that something would really start happening, you know. So I remember one day, I was down on my knees, and we had rented this old house. We didn't even have the plumbing in, but that's okay. We, you know, a lot of things about it. I remember the kitchen, I used to write little notes. Lord, help me be content whatsoever I have, even though that was just an old farmhouse.
Yeah.
But anyway, I fixed it up and it was okay. But anyway, I was down on my knees this day after us going all this time to pray. And I said, Lord, again, I said, you know, we prayed now, and could you just somehow send somebody maybe here just to give us a boost, you know, have revival meetings, whatever. And I don't know, I can't remember for sure if it was that day or very soon after anyway. I think it was the same day. The phone rang, and this minister was on the phone and wondering if he could stop by just for a night and have a meeting with us. He came, we went for 7 weeks revival.
Wow.
People we weren't going to have it, but people kept wanting to have it, and so we kept going. And some of them got tired. They said, "Oh, I'm not going to go tonight," and then they couldn't resist. They came from all over the place.
Every night.
Every night. I think maybe but Saturday night.
Wow.
We had one night off, but we went for weeks in revival.
And who was that pastor? Do you remember? Do you remember who that pastor was?
Oh yeah, Brother John Joel. And of course he was French, brought up French, and which was good because a lot of French people from back from Wolf Lake came to the meetings. People different come from Ottawa even, but we had a good revival service with him. And anyway, so we've thanked him. Like they had a kind of a special meeting for him at one time, and Len and I had a part in it, and thanked him for coming when he did. And a lot of the people, because they were French, they went back. He started another little work through that, which we were glad. As long as the gospel was going forward, we still gained some from it.
Yeah.
But he took a percentage of people back to Wolf Lake and started to work there, which eventually they ended up in Hull where they worked. So I mean, right from the beginning, you can see how God's hand wasn't always us, but maybe somebody else took the gospel further.
Yeah.
Then I often think of the little boy that came here to Sunday school. I probably told you that. He came and just as a little tot, sat in the Sunday school, and whenever I asked the kids if they'd like a hymn under the hymn book instead of the choruses, the children's choruses, he would always ask, "Is your name written there?"
Wow.
And that little boy, they didn't stay. They were only here maybe he was here just a very few years in Sunday school, and they moved over to Renfrew. And I didn't hear from any of them for a while. Then I met up with his sister one day in the store, and she said, "Do you know where Wayne is?" And of course I had no idea. He's in Bible school.
Wow.
This little boy. And I had felt that God had his hand, must have had his hand on him.
Remember his last name?
Interesting. I think it was Hewitt or Hewis or something like that. Anyway, then the next time I met up with her, now do you know where Wayne is? He was in the United States preaching in a great big church.
Wow.
And I said, maybe we didn't do all that much here, still in a little tiny church.
Planted the seed.
But the seed
The
was
seed,
going to grow even through that little lad. Maybe he'd reach far more.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, from that Sunday school, the seed was planted in that little heart.
Yeah.
And he went preaching the gospel. So it's not what you do ever is not in vain.
No, never. No.
No, we're thankful we came and did what we did.
So you were open here from 1970?
1967 we came.
So the church here? The church here was open?
Not here.
But where
we started in the hall.
But
like say in the highway.
This church started about 1970?
Well, it started earlier, like way back. It was on the plaque.
Yeah, it's Presbyterian or something,
Presbyterian, and I think most of the time Pentecost.
But you bought it in around the 70s?
Yeah, I think it was around that. We bought it off of a Stewart's, what was his first name? Not Gerald. Forget his first name, a Stewart man owned it at that time. It was just owned privately at that time. So then you had church here from then till when? Yeah, till, well, just when we quit just a few years ago. So about 2017? It'd be more than that. 2018? Yeah, maybe 30 years. Yeah. But when we first quit, Leonard was in the hospital. Oh, right, and, you know, it was down, so small at that time. Because, I mean, a small area and people move away too, and whatever takes place, you know how it goes. Yeah. And, but anyway, it was down, and so John wasn't coming yet. No, okay. Yeah, he must have been. That was another time, you know, that he came in when I was sick. Oh, okay. My wrist. Anyway, Leonard was in the hospital, and so few coming that I didn't feel I could take it anymore. No. Because I was trying to keep it going, and so I said, Leonard, I think we have to stop. Yeah. So we did, and then it was when the Beauchamps came and felt led to help us and everything, and that just fell through. But if it had been, we had a little group started again, and maybe went then. But Leonard was done, I think. Yeah. You know, I think his time was done. Yeah. But he never, if we had to come back and got going, he never intended to do it himself. No. He was too old, not healthy. Yeah. But, he was hoping somebody else would come and, you know, be part of it, yeah. But for some reason it didn't happen, and now I can't feel guilty, really. I have to feel, God, you know why. Yeah. Closed. Yeah. I can't do anymore. No. You don't know all those seeds that were planted. You don't know where they all ended up. No, we don't know. No. I know there's people in heaven today because we can't. I'm going to say when you get there, he'll be saying, this one's because of you, and this one's because of you, and this one's because of you. Like, it'll be a big surprise. When we first came over, Leonard felt a call to come to Quebec. Yeah. And it wasn't in favor even with our district, like the church is a district. Yeah. They thought we should go to Renfrew, or they'd give us another church somewhere in Ontario. No, these things, you know, happen. But Leonard felt to come to Quebec. So he said to me one day, do you want to come? I'm going to take a drive over.
And where were you living then?
We were in Pembroke.
Oh, okay, right.
And so I said, okay. So we came and we parked the car. We parked the car on this street. And we walked up the street and there was a man sitting on the veranda, just, two houses over. Not this one, but the next one. And of course, Leonard starts right up and I was pulling his coattail. Well, we don't know this guy. Well, what were we there for?
Yeah.
We were there to, we asked the Lord to give us a contact.
Yeah.
So we went up anyway on the veranda. Well, this man was a school teacher. He had been saved years back, backslid, and he knew everything around. Talk about a contact that you'd want to know. Like,
yeah.
His wife was in the hospital at the time. Anyway, before we left the house, he was down on his knees, tears running down his face, gave his heart back to God.
Oh.
The first contact.
The first contact.
Yeah, he got through to the Holy Ghost after. We went in from there and went in and visited his wife in the hospital, prayed with her. She never did seem to come along with it, but we prayed lots for her. I remember one time Leonard prayed and prayed. He said, don't let that woman sleep. He said till,
right.
because he wanted the Lord to convict her. So the next time he was in there, he had to pray that she'd start sleeping again. Because she said, I just can't sleep lately. So would you pray for me or whatever? So Leonard had to pray she'd start sleeping again. So many. Oh, I could tell you story after story. Story after story. Like of how God, helped us in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it seemed we had we'd bought a little house in Pembroke, and we sold that, didn't have it because we were buying it,
right.
Just a young married couple.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get that much out of it, but every cent had to go from that house before the Lord started bringing it in.
Oh, wow.
God wanted us to trust Him.
Yeah.
And He did.
Yeah.
I could tell you a lot of miracles on that too.
Yeah.
God brought. One time a man came in, it was a bad snowstorm, and he said, and he wasn't even a Christian. He said, God told me to come here and give you this money. It was maybe back then it was only $10, $20 or something.
Yeah.
It would be like what, 100 maybe now,
Yeah.
He drove in a snowstorm because he felt God sent him. Wanted him to go with this little bit of money. Yeah, so many stories there. We could be here all day, but gotta quit, I guess.
No, it's great.
Yeah. Anyway, through it all, I hope, I believe, Sometimes Leonard felt a little down, but he felt a little defeated. And I think with the sickness and everything, because we had planned to build a new church on the highway. And that, because people's ideas, like this one lady, she really led others astray on it too. She thought it should be, this morale center was where they lived in this morale center years back, and it was her brother's house that we lived in, for a few years there. But she felt it should be right in morale center. Well, Leonard tried, but because the green belt and everything wasn't. But we got that lot right on the corner, which we thought was great. And it was just right close to Morale Center.
Yeah.
Just because it wasn't in it. And they kind of bucked. But anyway, that's over.
No.
We'll talk about that.
No, this is good here.
But, we kept going.
You gave it your all for over 50 years.
And I said, Lord, I've told Leonard that so many times, Lord, or Leonard, the Lord sees you tried, you didn't do anything that you never lost faithfulness. Yeah, sometimes he'd say later, well, maybe I should have gone. Maybe and I said, well, you did it for the good. You didn't, mean to be doing anything wrong. No, he did his best, and he did what he felt was right and what the Lord wanted. Right, so anyway, God knows. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. Now that we have the history. Anytime you we can say goodbye. You want a story. Yeah, we can say goodbye to the church today. Yeah. And say all is well, all was done well. We left it empty of furniture, but not empty of prayer. That's right. So, Lord bless this place and all who enter. Amen.